Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our channel. My name is IJ,
And I'm Uchenna.
and today we're going to do a recap on Married at First Sight. It's season 14, episode 15 already, Uchenna.
I know we're like 2 episodes away. I can't believe it.
I know. But before we start, we wanted to make sure that you guys remember to like, comment below, subscribe, and turn on your notifications, right?
That easy. It's that easy.
It's just that simple.
Right.
All right. So today was a tearjerker. We started off on day 11 days until decision day, and it was the nostalgic learning about the past, reading the letters to your older self or to your younger self, whichever one it was.
Right.
And I was just so over it.
I thought it was good because these couples have been through trauma, like almost all of them, except for Katina. Oh yes.
What's his name again?
Steve.
Yes, Steve. Yeah, Steve had a great childhood, it seemed like.
Yeah, so did, and he can move. I was like, okay,
surprised. Steve. I was like, what?
And he could rap. I was like, I'm feeling you, Steve.
I wasn't feeling the song, but
it was like that. Good. It was kind of like that reggae feel to it. Yeah, I thought it was good for high school.
Back in the day. You have to remember back in the day.
Yeah.
But I was just I'm ready for the season to end, to know who stays together, who doesn't stay together. I'm ready to move on.
So I think tonight we have to put our guesses in at the end of the show.
Oh, right? Yeah. And Dior's not here, but you snooze, you lose.
There you go.
All right, so let's start off with the first couple. I mean, Jasmina and Michael, what a turnaround, right?
Oh my God.
Is it too late?
I don't believe it is. I don't know why it would be. She needs to take that stick out her ass and let him be open and let him come in. You know,
is it just her though, or maybe he needs to be the driving force and just take his woman and grab her and kiss her?
He does need to do. There was a great opportunity for a kiss that he completely missed. You know, so let's go into their whole thing.
So I thought it was interesting on their way back from their drive from the retreat. They were talking about the mystical lady,
what
do you call it?
The psychic or the mediator.
Do you think that she really knew about the brother, or was she fed that information?
I don't think so, because last week, Dior and I discussed that. Jasmina said that there were things that she talked to her about that she told no one, not even the producers about, that she brought up. So there's no way that the medium could have known. So I think, and even I think with his story about his brother getting shot, and then she said there were 2 other people involved. Yeah. I'm sure he didn't go into that much detail.
I'm sure he did not go.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think she's legit. Like,
wow,
I don't do that stuff, but I'm tempted to look her up.
I know. I don't do that stuff neither, but I was just like, how could she have known that information? So, but I was surprised at how open he was, and he was going into detail with her.
Yes.
I was just like, Jasmina, if this is not a signal that this man is willing to be vulnerable with you, then I don't know what. And for the first time, she was empathetic.
Well, no, remember when she cried at one point when he was telling his story. I think it was when she did that workout for him, and he was sharing. And I think at that point, she actually cried. And that's like the time when they first started, like a month later, they first started connecting. So I think she's bringing down her walls, even though I don't think she realizes that she has walls up. She's letting him in a lot more, and he's doing the same.
Right. Now, Michael, he's trusting her more, but is she trusting him more?
I think she's just starting to. Like, I think you're getting to the point where she finally was opening up to him and telling him the stories about her childhood.
Yeah. So we drove by her childhood home. and we saw how small it was. But it
Yeah.
looked nice. It looked nice
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
outside and so forth. And I didn't realize that her parents were divorced.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't
They,
realize that.
so yeah, she, her parents, so the parents that we met are not her biological parents.
Correct, people.
Yeah. So yeah, the mother left and then he got remarried and then
The
they
stepmother wasn't very nice.
yeah, and then he got with her now mother, and then they divorced. So she's been through a lot of like abandonment, so to
And
speak.
so maybe that's why she does long distance relationships. And maybe that's why she doesn't get emotionally attached too much. I'm
Right.
just wondering.
Mhm.
But we get to learn a lot about her and the pain that she went through as a child. And her
Yes,
sanctuary was school.
yeah, and her teacher.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if the teacher and her will reconnect. Wouldn't that be great?
If the teacher's still alive. Yeah,
Yeah.
when Michael asked who the teacher was, I thought he was going to try to do a reunion.
Oh, if he did that, oh my God, her panties would drop, right?
I thought that's what he was trying to do. But how many kids actually go to school and use school as a sanctuary? I thought that was so touching. And that teacher, she said the teacher was giving her love that she needed, and the teacher didn't even know. I wonder if the teacher knew, because sometimes
Mhm.
you can feel and see when somebody's in pain, and that's
Was
why.
your child.
Mhm.
Yeah. She probably saw the sadness in her, which
Right.
she still has. She still has that kind of like quiet sadness
Right.
that, and she probably saw that she needed, you know, more love and more attention.
And I think that she was able to be vulnerable and read the letter to her younger self because Michael was so receptive. And did you
Yes.
see him getting emotional
I
along
was
with her?
shocked. I was shocked. I wonder what
Was.
that did to her. Do you think that opened her up more or?
You know what, Eugene, I think it's too late for them, to tell you the
No,
truth.
I'm not listening to that.
Yeah, I think
No.
they're in the friend zone. No,
I'm
no,
not
no, no,
listening
no,
to
no, no, no.
But you know what? She's a little bit of a hypocrite because she's like, I want Michael to open up. I want Michael to open up. And she's just now opening up to him and sharing her story where he's been telling him his story all along. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe it's because, she, like you said, she has abandonment issues and she doesn't know. Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you, Jasmina. I think Michael is a keeper because
Yes.
I do not think, I think most men would have left you by now. Right?
Yeah, I do.
And you know, I wonder if he would, if they weren't on TV, do you think he would have left?
Yeah, after that first month, they both would have been gonzo. You know, they both would have been split. So yeah.
Right. So then we talk about Michael and his childhood and his family.
Right.
He's lucky that he has still a supportive family that loves him. His sister.
Oh yeah. And his one brother. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like a supportive base to him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Jasmina never talks about her sister, does she?
No.
Did we even meet her sister at the wedding?
Yeah, she was at the wedding. Yeah, she was
You
there.
remember her?
Yeah, I remember her, and because they look a little bit alike.
Okay.
And also at the before the wedding, you know, at the dinner.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And she's younger, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, there's not that much to talk about Michael and Jasmina.
Well,
They're just in a good space right now.
Well, we can talk about when they met with Dr.
Pepper.
When they met with Dr. Pepper. And it was a really good conversation. And, you know, once again, you know, Jasmina is like, I don't feel that desire to have an open, you know, sex with him, basically. But they want children in a year and a half.
Right.
You know?
She said that, you know what if she got pregnant? I forget what they were talking, the context that they were talking about. And she says, ooh, we slipped up or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Do you think this is one of those things where we find out 3 months later that they were having sex all along? I don't think so. Neither, people. I don't.
Yeah. And then Dr. Pepper was like, you guys have to start doing something. Like,
holding hands.
Yeah. And he said he held her hand while they were sleeping, which is really sweet. And Jasmina recognized it while they were sleeping. So, I mean, it's slow. it's a slow, really, really slow burn. So hopefully the fire will start catching, you know?
Or it might just gas out because somebody
Yeah,
came and
this
doused it
might.
with water.
Yeah, they might end up friend zoning each other, which would be
Right, and
really
that's what
sad.
I'm afraid of. And sometimes when you get into that friend zone, it's hard to get out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't think you can
so
ever get out.
right, so that's what I'm afraid for them. So I'm just saying, Michael, you've got to do it now if you want this relationship to go. And Jasmina, throw on a sexy little outfit.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So let's go on to Katina and Olajuwon.
Mhm.
I don't know. Katina has lost her flavor, her flair to me.
Listen to this. So Dan doesn't really watch the show. He'll watch it for a few seconds or whatever, and or watch like a half an hour here and there, but he hasn't watched it.
Dan secretly be in the bedroom going like this, watching it on the street.
So he hasn't seen it in a while. And so we were sitting and he finishing dinner, and then it came on, and then he saw her, Katina, and he was like, whoa, she looks different. She looks really tired. And I was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, well, she's always had, bags under her eyes.
But they're
But
now
he's like,
pronounced.
he said, yeah, they're a lot bigger. She looks really different from the beginning. And I was like, yeah, that's true. But she's also lost weight since the beginning too.
She was slender before and she's slender now. And she was wearing makeup in the beginning when we first saw her. She's not wearing makeup now. Her skin looks beautiful.
Yeah, yes.
She's great skin. And
And
she
maybe
wears a
she was
padded
wearing
bra
the iPads things to
to
help
help.
reduce.
Well, she needs to go back. But as we progress on, I think the reason why she's so tired is because she made a couple of comments and he made a comment too. She said, he's tiring. And he was just like, agreed. I mean, he has ADHD. It's probably a lot to handle.
Nonstop talking. He
Subject
talks
to
nonstop.
subject to subject to subject. And it's not just his talking, but the force of the way he talks is probably exhausting. Plus, she's in nursing school, plus trying to take care of the house, plus trying to be the type of wife he wants her to be. That when do you get rest to be yourself?
When she's away at school. That's the only time. I think that's the only time.
Yeah, but then he says to Dr. Pepper, and I know we're getting a little bit ahead, but he says that, I don't know if this relationship is going to work out because he doesn't want her to give up her dreams.
Right. And I think they really love each other. I've
said he's loved her I feel like he's loved her from the minute they got together. That man has loved her and has been trying to shape her, form her into the type of woman he wants and make her, according to him, more mature and so forth, and she seems willing to accept it.
Well, I think that he pointed out they had very different upbringings. She had what it seemed like a charmed life, and he had more of a struggle. And I think
my God.
Yeah. And I think that she was probably pampered, a little bit spoiled. So she didn't have to do those things like clean, cook, do all that stuff because her mom probably took care of a lot of it. So I don't think that she had to work. We know that she has not had to work as hard as he has. So I think that's where the difference is. And that's why he has to teach her everything because he had to learn how to do that stuff at a young age.
Yeah. And his past drives him. His past pushes him forward so that he's able to buy and sell, buy and sell his home, pay off his school loans and so forth, and make a living for himself.
And finish college right after high school and play sports. He played football.
So I think that all of that has propelled him, and he wants somebody that's just as driven as he is.
But I think she is driven because she's getting her bachelor's. She's going to be going in nursing school, and she's working. And she got her job, which seems like a good job, without having a college degree. So she's working not as hard as him. But yeah.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But that last speech he gave to the camera when it was just their one-on-one, he was crying.
Yeah,
You
that
know?
was sad.
Yeah, it was sad, but he goes, if you truly care for somebody, he didn't say love,
Right.
that
He's
if you,
afraid to say it, I
yeah,
think.
he is. If you truly
Mhm.
care for somebody, you're gonna want them to do what's best for them. And what's
Mhm.
best for her is finishing up her career.
Right.
Because and then listening to the after show, I find out that his ex, his ex was going to school at the same time as they were together, and their relationship couldn't handle it because he wanted so much of her time.
Oh, so he has to step back. He has to be willing, if she doesn't want to give him up, he has to be willing to take a step back and let her focus and not be as needy.
Right.
He has to give her
Right.
the time to study,
Yeah.
give her the time to work and do what she needs to do. And he might not, like, I don't know if he's able to be that type of person, even though he
Well,
might want to.
he needs to get on some ADHD medication. I mean,
Mm,
I'm sure he is on some because you have to be in order to focus and do
right.
schoolwork.
Mhm.
But my God, his must be really bad because with it, he is just a complete whew. Without it, he
Um,
must be jumping off the walls.
So one thing that we forgot to talk about was, like, okay, their drive back from their retreat, and
Okay.
then they get home, and then they're in bed, and he was like, "Oh, I've been waiting for this all day," and when he started snuggling up to her, he was like, "I've been waiting for this, since we left the resort," and she's like, "Oh yeah, to lay back down and sleep again." Like, she was trying to cover for him saying, "I've been waiting to have sex with you," and she's covering
Oh,
by
you're
saying,
thinking that they're having sex.
"Yes," because why is he waiting all day to get in bed with her
I
unless it's
just thought
sex?
he was just getting, I wait all day to get back into the bed to go to sleep.
Okay, but you're not a young 29-year-old man.
Okay.
So there's a big
Oh,
difference. So
okay.
I think she was covering up from
Ah,
what he said by
mm,
saying to get back and lay back down again.
mhm.
Maybe. Mhm.
Yeah. Did you hear? I cracked up when she said running with a sheep. And it was a llama. I was like,
No, it's not a llama. It's a alpaca.
alpaca, alpaca.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
was just like,
yeah.
a
Danny
sheep?
was
Have
Danny
you?
was sitting here at that time, and he was like, "Oh my god, that alpaca fur is so beautiful."
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
was.
god, that color.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
It was.
Yeah. Mhm.
Now, what do you think in the end? Do you think in the end that she's willing to let go of school?
She wants that dude. She wants him, and I think she's willing to try to do both, and hopefully she can do it. A lot of people do, but she
They
has
don't
to
have any
have a
kids, so they can do it.
right. Yeah, they just have to have their priorities straight and
Mhm.
be willing to give and take from each other.
Right, right.
Mhm.
So Lindsay and Mark, or should we? Yeah, let's just go ahead and do Lindsay and Mark. I am just so scared for them. Like,
I don't know what's going on. I am
I
so
just don't
confused.
know. You know what I think it is? I am just totally don't know what's going on. I think that Mark wants to be done with it,
But
but
then he doesn't.
keeps being pulled back in. And she wants to be done with it, but not really.
Right. Because
Says it, but she wants that relationship.
she does. And I don't know. Like, there's so many chances for Mark to get out of that relationship, but he's still staying in it. And I can't figure out
Is it
why.
because he loves her?
No, he can barely tolerate her. I think he sees glimpses of, gold in her. But then it's covered up with so much, like,
Drama.
dirt and drama, that he's not sure if he can ever get to that gold or that diamond, because
Ugh,
she is a really caring person.
she's a
There's
caring
so much
person. She's
baggage in her.
organized and
Mhm.
so forth, and keeps a clean house and
And she's like, she knows what she wants,
right,
and she goes for it, but
right.
it's full with extra stuff that can
That
be too
he can't
much.
that so let's take a step back to when he says she's too much, and that she's too much. She did have the right to say, if I'm too much, then forget it, because I'm not gonna decrease or squash
Change.
down,
And she
change
shouldn't
my
change
life.
who she is.
No, she's not going to dim her light because he can't handle her
Energy.
glow, her
Yeah.
energy.
Mhm.
But then, is it too much energy? Like he said, I asked her to stop doing something and I have to say it over and over and over again, but she's not hearing it the way that he's saying it because maybe he's not saying it in the correct way.
I think because he's probably afraid of getting her mad. So he's saying it in a joking way. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop, stop. When he really wants to, yell and say, will you stop it? But he's probably scared.
Something else. I got how many times I gotta keep telling you to stop?
Right.
Right. So, I cracked up when they were at the retreat and he says, you're hyper.
And then she went psycho. It's
Yeah.
like,
that was a trigger word for her.
oh yeah, for sure.
That was a trigger. And so he should learn never to say, what I didn't like was Dr. Pepper siding with her.
Mm-hmm.
Mark should be able to say, hey, you're being too hyper.
Mm-hmm.
How was he supposed to know? She goes, well, is that a compliment? Is that a nice thing to say to somebody? You're being too hyper. No, it's not really nice, but it's not being mean.
Right. And you shouldn't get her reaction from saying that.
No, it shouldn't have been that drastic of a reaction.
And like Dr. Pepper should also have said, if she said that to Mark, then she said, but Lindsay, you have continuously degraded him in front of people. That's something that you also need to work on. You need to bite your tongue and stop it from being so sharp.
You got one time
to
talk to me some funky way in front of people.
Oh, I know.
One time. I bet you'll never do it again.
Right.
Because I'm not going to do it with words. I'm going to up and down the street. Somebody will be walking home or getting a ride home with somebody else.
Right. Yeah.
That's just unacceptable.
Completely.
I mean, you shouldn't do that in private, people, but my God. So maybe that's why when they're in public, he doesn't say much, or he just is like,
he's scared. That boy is scared.
So what did you think when Lindsay didn't go to her home, her childhood home? Instead, she took him to her sanctuary, which was the woods, into the her little cove where she was playing. I was just like,
it was sad.
That was an abused child.
Yeah. And that also, now we understand why she has so many plants in her home.
Yes.
Because it reminds her, it's like a sanctuary for her.
Right. She's a nature lover.
It gives her comfort.
It gives her comfort. In that, I would be, first of all, afraid to go into the bushes.
Yeah.
And that cove.
That was beautiful, though.
It was beautiful. But it could be a homeless person in there. It could be anything.
Right, you're right.
And she's but as a child, you have to actually go into the woods, cross the stream, keep walking, and go off into a beaten path somewhere to sit. But I wish Mark would have gone in there with her.
He is a little bitch.
Are you serious?
I know. I don't know if I could take someone who's so afraid to try anything different. That he's never had salsa before. I mean, like, what do you eat? Are you still eating nuggets and hot dogs?
He said he eats nuggets and stuff. Yeah.
That would be an issue.
Yeah, you go out to eat. What are you gonna eat? Bread and water.
And French fries. I love French fries, but come on, you gotta go past that.
Yeah. So I felt like he's not giving enough of himself, and he's not putting her first. It would not have harmed him to get some spiders or some dirt on him to go in there and sit with her. She's saying, this is where I felt safe as a child.
Right.
And then we go to Mark's place. Was that a trailer home? I think it was a trailer home, because the bottom, that Lattice, I want to say, I think it was a trailer home.
Oh, you know what? I missed seeing the house. I was looking down or something, so I didn't see the house. I just saw the neighborhood
looked nice. The neighborhood
looked real. All I could see was the neighborhood and the paved driveway. I didn't see the house.
Yeah. So it looked like, but then did you hear, did you hear what Mark said, that his dad would be outside yelling, would be outside watching the street?
Just staring into space.
Yeah. and the mom would be yelling at him. And Lindsay was like thinking that she was saying something nice. And he's like, no, she'd be like, nobody wants you out there staring at the.
Yeah. And when she did that, I thought of Lindsay. I said that would be Lindsay being mean as hell.
Yes.
Yeah.
When he goes, my mom would be yelling at my dad out. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, I know.
Both of them came from messed up childhoods.
Yeah.
Did his parents eventually divorce? No, his dad died 2 years ago. His dad died.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, his dad died 2 years ago. And the house, I guess it was sold.
Yeah, and I don't blame Lindsay. I'd be like, I'm not moving into this house.
But did you hear? He wanted to move into the house with her. Why do you do that to somebody? Give them hope.
Oh.
Talking about, we want to move into the house. And she's like, no, we can move across the street and stuff. But he's just like, wouldn't it be great if we lived together? We moved into the house. That to me, I was just like, why are you doing this, Mark?
But you know what? Wasn't that after his cat, they had to put the cat to sleep? And I think, remember he said that it brings like tragedies like this, bring people closer.
Yeah.
So maybe he was feeling more of a connection, because she's a caregiver. He was feeling more of a connection with her because of that.
Yeah. And then, like when he said to Dr. Pepper, when Dr. Pepper was there, and he said to Lindsay, I can touch your heart.
I know.
I was just like, whoa.
And I was like, because that could have been an out for him, because Lindsay was basically saying that she was done.
But he's not done yet.
He's not done.
Is it because, does he have a job yet? Does he have someone?
I don't think so. That's what Dior and I were saying last week. So maybe he needs Lindsay, and that's why he's staying so long. Or maybe he has feelings for her because they're not having sex. So like, what is it?
I don't know. But he says, I know how to get to you. I know how to touch your heart. And I was like, wow. And that just drew Lindsay right back in.
I know.
How's it?
Yeah.
So, this will be interesting. I don't know what's going to happen with them. I don't know. I truly don't know. Don't know. Well, let's go on, because we don't have much time left, to Annoying Noi
Yes.
and Steve. So we saw that
Steve.
Yes, he had a great life, didn't he?
He did. He was popular. He had a music career where the whole town was playing his song.
Jam. Yeah.
And the mother was singing along to the chorus. How proud.
Right. And then there's Noi.
I know. It was like,
didn't want to stop on the bus didn't want to get off at her house at the bus stop, so she would let them drop her off somewhere else and she'd walk home. I mean, that's sad. But you know what? We all understand why she's the way she is. She was
to a certain extent.
Okay, but she's had to be independent. Her mom and dad was probably working all the time and never really around. Didn't want her to show any emotion, because you dare not complain.
I don't know if I buy it. I don't know if I believe her.
Yes, you don't believe her. Why
I think
not?
it's convenient. I think it's something convenient.
She doesn't seem the type to make stuff up like that. She has such a F you attitude that she's not going to.
And that's what I'm saying. She has no problem telling him, no, you need to clean. You need to clean both bathrooms. You need to do this. You need to do that. And now all of a sudden she's afraid to tell him something. I don't believe it.
No, there's a difference between telling somebody to do tasks and telling somebody how you feel. And telling somebody
she has no problem telling him that she doesn't want to live with him, which is bonkers. I mean,
so I needed clarity on that, because I couldn't understand that whole concept. Does she not want to live with him? Does he? Because he doesn't have a home.
He has his apartment and she has her apartment. They don't own anything.
Right. So why doesn't he just move in with her?
She doesn't want them to. She wants a place to escape. So
from what?
From him. She wants her time apart from him. So
I thought she just didn't want to give up her place and wanted him to move in.
No. She wants to keep her place so she can go there when she feels like she needs a break. Or go over to his house when she wants to be with him. So she doesn't want to fully cohabitate with him. She wants to have her own separate spot so she can do whatever and that makes no sense. It's like,
Makes
girl,
no
bye.
sense.
You don't want to
So-
be married.
so how are you
you don't
gonna
want a
manage those-
kid in a year.
I know. How are you gonna manage those 3 kids living like that?
Right. Paying for 2 rents and then being there. Where are the kids going to be? Are the kids going to be at your apartment? Are you going to separate them from their dad? I don't think Steve's going to agree to that.
No, if I was Steve, I'd be like, no. But I guess she can say, well, Steve, you get a job and we can move in together.
Well, he's established
But
that,
he's established that he has money. Yeah.
right.
that
And I
he can
think
get a job.
Dr. Pepper, like, why is she telling Noi that she and her husband, her marriage is completely different from Steve's and Noi's marriage? They are old and these two are young and they want to have kids. So why
Different eras. Different eras.
different eras. Yeah.
I was
So
a
why,
type.
yeah, why even bring
Nobody
that
asked you, Dr. Pepper, about your love life. And nobody cared either.
up? I didn't want to know that.
Sure didn't. I thought we were here to talk about ours.
Right. I don't know. I mean, Noi seems so like hard stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's a lot of facial expressions.
Yes,
of-
she
Of
does.
annoyance.
Yeah, like when he talked about his little like bear that he still loves, and she was kind of making fun of him. It's like, oh, girl.
She's constantly playing with her hair.
She has pretty hair.
That's hers. I feel like it's.
I think it's
extensions.
hers.
You think
Oh, you
so?
do? Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's
Mhm.
extensions.
Hmm.
She's annoying.
She is annoying.
She's annoying, and I take it back. I know before you guys, I was all team Noi.
Hmm.
No, because now that I know that Steve has some money and he can make money. Steve.
And he can dance. He's cool. You know, you think he's
Nice.
like real nerdy, but he's not. You know, he's a nerd, but a cool nerd.
So
you know.
why is he still single? Why was he still single all this time?
I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So next week, like, why don't we just have decision day already? We're ready.
Well, we have to go through the friends and blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They're extending it, which I don't mind. I think we only have 2-3 more weeks left.
And then the show's over.
Yeah, yeah. Are you watching Australia?
No, I haven't started watching Australia yet.
Yeah,
Have you?
I'm watching Australia.
Oh.
But let's, do our predictions. Who's gonna stay together? Who's gonna break
Okay.
up?
Okay, so Steve and Noi together.
I know that they're gonna be together, but I wish they would break up. I really do.
Oh my God.
I do. He deserves better. I'm sorry. He
He
does.
does, even though she thinks she does.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Mark and Lindsay.
It should be a hell mother effing no.
I want them to stay together
Oh, you
because I feel
do?
like they need each other.
They do need each other.
I feel like
But-
they need each other.
Yeah,
It's just-
but
it's
I
no toxic. I just want the toxicity to go.
right. I don't think they're gonna stay together.
Oh. What about Olajuwon and Katina?
Yes, they are a hell yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, they love each
And-
other.
Jasmina and Michael.
I'm a please. I want them to stay together.
I want them to stay together, but I just don't know about that one because I think they're in the friend zone era. I just that's what I feel.
Mhm.
I mean,
But
you
maybe
can't
she's-
kiss.
We saw like scenes for next week and she's in a hot red dress. So maybe, and they go
There's
to their
trickiness.
final. Yeah, and it's almost too late.
Yeah, like
I don't think there's been a couple who's never had sex that stayed together.
yeah.
Oh.
That one season, 2 guys were really good friends,
Hmm.
African-American couple. She didn't want, it's the first time like we saw where
Oh, yes, and they're still together.
they're still together. Yeah.
They're still together. They have their own YouTube channel.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we gave our predictions. We would love to hear what your predictions are.
Yes,
So please
please
comment
do.
below your predictions. We should have said at the beginning of the
Well, if hopefully you guys stay tuned the whole entire time and you're catching it now because we want to know if you're aligned with me or with IJ. We want to know, or you have your own, opinions. We want to hear from you.
right. And one last thing, I'm surprised that we haven't seen, what was her name? Allison?
Oh, Alyssa.
Alyssa. I know we'll see
know.
her at the reunion.
Ooh. Yes. Yeah, I want to see both of them. I want to know what she's been
Yeah.
up to.
I want to
So
know what he's been up to. Like,
I
is he
know.
dating somebody or anything like that?
Yes.
So,
Has people been blowing up his DMs?
yeah, I'm sure they probably have.
Yeah, right. Well, guys, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and comment below. And we'll see you in 2 days on Friday
Yes. All
for
right.
Put a Ring on It.
All right. Bye, everyone.